Salutations, kings and queens. Welcome back to the Electric Leaf. I really want to come to you all really quickly about empaths. All right. During this time of year, a lot of people find out that they're empaths. You want to know why? Because it's cold and people are feeling quite a lot of emotions during this time of year. All right, because things slow down. So our ability to process information slows down. And so those feelings that would just pass away, pain that would just pass away, thoughts that would just pass away, they're kind of like dragging through. They're slowly dragging themselves through the emotional body, okay? So what is an empath? Because you might be one. An empath is a person who can feel on a vibrational level things that other people might feel. An empath is the one that you don't say anything to. You don't even have to tell them that you're pissed off or that you're angry. They know, though, because why? They're an empath. All right? So you've got empaths. They're able to hear, feel, experience your emotions. It's a great superpower to have. A lot of people who work as spiritual counselors, spiritual advisors, we are empaths. And it's great to have that so that when we are counseling you all, when we are counseling people, we're able to not just hear the words that are being said, but we're able to actually feel the feeling behind what's being shared, okay? So empaths, I like to compare them to, this is how I like to explain what an empath is to people. We have our cell phones, right? They process a tremendous amount of data. Everything from cell phone calls to emails to text messages to spreadsheets to FaceTime phone calls to making videos, which is what I'm doing right now. A cell phone can do so much, okay? We can compare a regular everyday people to cell phones. We're all processing a tremendous amount of data, okay? But an empath would be the tower, the actual tower that all that information is pinging off of, okay? So an empath is going to be experiencing their own information in such an astronomical way, okay? So when it comes to understanding yourself and your superpower, you will fail every time if you do not learn how to employ empathy as an empath. Okay. Let me say that again. You will fail astronomically. You will fail every time at your gift of being an empath if you do not learn how to employ empathy. And empathy is when you're able to actually process the data and let it go. You're the tower, okay? You don't have to hold on to the information the way that a cell phone would. When a cell phone tower is down, look at how many people are affected by that one tower. So as an empath, we have to learn how to stop carrying so much emotional baggage in the form of, oh, I don't want to say that, I don't want to hurt their feelings, I don't want to rock the boat, I don't want to make anybody mad. No, that's not, that has nothing to do with you, okay? You need to, if it's something that you need to say, then you're actually robbing people of their spiritual progressions, their spiritual growth. You're robbing them because you don't want them to feel the growing pain. Okay? As an empath, you have to learn how to process data and let it go. There's no way that you can be an effective empath if you do not know how to say what you need to say and let it go. Feel what you need to feel and let it go. All right? Sympathy, on the other hand, is when people are able to feel, see, understand what people are going through and just get completely lost in it. Like, oh, you're crying, I'm crying. Oh, you're sad, I'm sad. Oh, you're hurting, I'm hurting. And that's something that a lot of empaths do. When as empaths, we need to be able to say, oh my gosh, I feel it, I understand it. And through that opening, that tearing of the spirit, spirit, you need to be able to, we need to be able to, because I have my shortcomings too, I'm human as well. We need to be able to say, okay, I'm open, God. I want to hear what it is that I need to hear. I need to open myself to the messages that I need to receive so that I can pass it on. Because as an empath, I'm a tower. I'm not just a cell phone, I'm a tower. And I need that information to be processed and released so that the flow of energy around me can stay free flowing, and ultimately, so can I. All right? So, a lot of people, especially with the things that are on the news as far as the sexual things that are coming up, the government shutdown and all of that, an empath is feeling that on a whole different level. You remember Phoebe from Charmed. When Phoebe from Charmed would get around certain people, she would be able to hear things. She would understand exactly. She would get the little twinkle and she would know everything that's going down. That's the same thing with empaths. Only a lot, it's because we don't have that little chime that goes off to let us know, oh, these aren't my feelings, they're someone else's. We tend to internalize a lot of that, and a lot of the empaths tend to go into these unnecessary depressions, if you will, okay? Because we're not processing and releasing, process and release. And so because of that, that super sensitivity, a lot of empaths are super sensitive, and it's not because you're not important, it's because you're actually, you need to be more guarded and protected, okay? You know, the more sensitive something is, the more of a boundary it needs around it, okay? So you need to keep your friends tight. All right, your inner circle, it needs to be tight. It needs to be like like the nucleus of the cell. You are the nucleus, and then you have a selectively permeable membrane that is enclosed around you and all the other good things that's needed so that the cell can function optimally. And that's how you need to be seeing yourself right now as an empath, okay? With all the sexual trauma coming up, especially with R. Kelly and them speaking, it's a lot of jokes and stuff going on social media, okay? A lot of people are making fun of the R. Kelly incidents, but with an empath is feeling so deeply the sexual trauma of the women who were, not only the women who were affected, but the men and women who have been raped, who are not able to share their story, okay? The children who have been molested, who don't want to talk about it, or who are not able or don't feel safe enough to talk about it. And so an empath may be reliving their own sexual traumas on a loop. And so it's because of that you need to make sure that your boundaries are intact, okay? You need to make sure that your boundaries are intact, and you need to you need to practice processing data, okay? Practice is so very important, to practice processing this data. Now, with that being said, there's a lot of people out here who you're not even going to resonate with being an empath at this point, because you feel as if it's a joke, it's not real. But it requires you to take more time out for yourself. You have to step away from everything that is overly stimulating you, and you have to actually take time alone as an empath. The cold winter months by themselves are actually causing things to slow down, okay? And with the tremendous amount of information that needs to be processed, it takes additional time to process a lot of information, right? Just like with a computer. If you're processing a lot, if you're going through a system upgrade or something like that, the computer needs rest. You know, it needs to sleep. Why? Why does the computer need rest, and why does the computer need to sleep? Because you're going through an upgrade. So a lot of your powers are being really you're going through an initiation of becoming an empath, or actually being able to walk in the light of an empath, okay? So you're going through these initiations, and you need to let your body rest so that you're able to process the information that's coming to you and through you. Process it and let it go. Rest is so important during this time. All right? So important. So I'm going to do something special for the empaths later. A lot of you think you're going crazy. A lot of you think that you are, just losing your mind. You think you're going through the deepest, darkest depression of your life, maybe a dark night of the soul, but really that's not true. You're really just going through a DNA upgrade. So congratulations. Welcome to the club. Glad to have you. So if any of you all need me, of course, you all know that I've always done my spiritual counseling. Empathy is something that spiritual counselors have to employ so that you don't get lost in the emotions of the people that you help, okay? Also, empaths have to, spiritual counselors, that's one of the number one gifts that spiritual advisors have is the gift of being an empath, okay? So it is a gift. Don't fear your gifts. Don't fear yourself. Don't fear the energies that are going on right now. Just anchor yourself. You have to find an anchor, and that anchor had better be self-love and your belief in the Most High, whatever that may be, so that you know, okay, so that you know that you're safe. When the boat starts rocking, you got to know that your anchor is going to keep you, all right? And I do say boat because these emotions, they're so comparable to water, aren't they? The rise and fall and the ebb and flow like a tide or a wave. So then, and you're probably feeling a lot, but don't give up on yourself. You've got to know that you are going through an upgrade, a DNA upgrade right now, and that you're getting ready to start to do some amazing things. So some quick tips for you. I want you to focus on your breathing. Slow your breathing down if you start to go through a panic attack. The veil, if you start to hear things or see things through the veil, and you feel crazy, like, oh my goodness, this isn't right, I shouldn't be seeing this, I shouldn't be hearing this, I really want you to slow yourself down. Take some breaths, some deep breaths, some slow deep breaths. Allow the air to come into your being and collect all those fears and release those fears and anxieties back to the ethers to be transmuted into something that is more usable for you. Okay? I also want you to check your posture. One thing, negative thoughts are very much associated with poor posture. Okay, so if your posture is slouched, then I can guarantee you that is the perfect storm to think crazy thoughts. So check your posture, okay? Check your posture. I also want you to make sure that you're getting plenty of sun. This is not the same. I'm getting sun right now, but to get the sun through the glass in your car is not the same as when the sun is actually contacting your skin for just a short amount of time. You don't need a whole bunch. And I want you to also make sure to ground, okay? I want you to walk on the ground, on the earth, not pavement, okay? You don't have to take your shoes off, but I want to make sure that you're taking the time to go outside and walk on earth. Walk. You don't have to take your shoes off. It's cold, okay? And those are just a few small things that I want to bring to you really quickly today, all right? So I'm hoping that will assist you in your transition. I'm in the country. These are some very steep curves. I know how to stay in my lane, but it seems like I'm not. Okay? So, but that is what I want for you all today. I want you all to stay anchored and grounded in who you are and be proud of your initiation and be thankful for the gifts that have been bestowed upon you. So I love you all. I'm going to do something special for you all later on my other channel. And until then, continue to vibrate love and vibrate well. I'll see you soon.